and on my left, my co-counsel Mirza Asi, and on my right, Mr. Jawad Ahmed. So we are on the petitioner side. As we have invoked the jurisdiction of the Honorable Bench, so we, the petitioners, humbly submit to the jurisdiction of the Honorable Bench. So with your permission, may I proceed?
Please proceed.
Thank you. Coming on the background and the context of the case, Protection of Pakistan Ordinance 2013 and Protection of Pakistan Amendment Ordinance 2014, referred to as PPO, is a direct response, apparently, to the observations and the orders dated 10 December 2013 of the Supreme Court of Pakistan in the human rights case number 23388 K of 2013 with Muhammad Shah case. Dealing with the case of 35 persons who disappeared from the internment center Malakand, the Supreme Court observed in relation to these apparently working of the concerned authorities, that is, law enforcement agencies responsible for such removal, and the principles of customary international law codified in the Universal Declaration on Enforced Disappearances 1992 and Convention Against Enforced Disappearances 2006. Even though not ratified by Pakistan, but still applicable, as enforced disappearances is a crime against humanity that is defined in the ICC Statute International Criminal Code, and also it is in violation of Article 9 and 10 of the Constitution of Pakistan. The Supreme Court observed that the federal government ensure that all those who are responsible for their removal and who fail to account for this so far be dealt with in accordance with the law.
Restrict yourself to the points which are you have made, which are objections against this law. Instead of giving advice that there should be amendment in that law, whether this law is in accordance with the Constitution or not in accordance with the Constitution.
Coming on the preamble, now I will analyze that Pakistan Protection Ordinance with the section-wise or mention the sections that are in direct violation of the Constitution and violating the fundamental rights and violating the international law relating to the human rights. Clause 2A allows the armed forces and civil armed forces to fire upon any person against whom they are authorized to use force. The aforesaid provision amounts to giving a license to kill. Coming on the preventive detention, section 6 allows the government to authorize the detention for up to 90 days. Illegal detention of the missing persons. The PPO reverses this assumption and places the burden of proving his innocence on the accused.
We have so far given arguments against 5 clauses of PPO. If you want to add any other clause, these are the clauses you consider, these are against the fundamental rights.
First of all, there is no any definition of reasonable. First of all, reasonable, define reasonable. What is reasonable? Then there is no any touchstone that how we can define it.
Provisions of the PPO, that are in the direct violation of the fundamental rights, should be declared null and void.
Please proceed.
Detention. A detention would be lawful when it has been authorized by the agency that you can detain a person with a due process of law. Before hours. Within 24 hours. This limit has been defined by the power under Article 237, 238, 239 that they can extend this limit up to the 90 days.
Can we make law and make it legal?
The general procedure is there in the CRPC and that procedure is also applicable in this act also. So you have to interpret the Constitution as a whole. For example, I'm just again advancing my arguments again and again that Article 10 is applicable here. that it is not unconstitutional. Why it is unconstitutional? Why it is not unconstitutional? Because just limitation has been extended from 24 days to the 90 days. The second thing about the
90 days.
24 hours to the 90 days. I will repeat that this ordinance is a very much constitutional on the basis of Article 10, on the basis of 2A, on the basis of 236 to 37 to 38, on the basis of the power of the legislature. The wisdom of Parliament cannot be challenged by everyone, and if we interpret the law in a very narrow sense, then it would make the whole constitution. The second thing, the burden of proof, it has been also incorporated in the LAB ordinance, and there is a difference between the reasonable suspicion and the reasonable evidence. Here is a reasonable evidence, not the reasonable suspicion. Thank you.
Panels of learned counsels have presented arguments in favor and against this ordinance. The court has discussed and court decides that as far as section 3 clause 2A, section 6 clause 5 and section 14 are remanded. They are declared not in accordance with the constitution, and Parliament is given directions they may amend the law accordingly. And both of these have done. You see, defending the state is always very difficult, because court is also to protect the right of the people, constitution is also to protect the right of the people. That's why the job of the who is filing petition from the people's side is normally easy, because the court also considers them more. And job who are, because state has the power. Course of power is within the hands of state. State snatches the life, liberty and property of the people. This is the criminal law which snatches the life, liberty and property of the people. That's why the standards are very tough as far as criminal law is concerned. You see, we all are free human beings. Why our life should be snatched by the state authority? Why liberty? Sometimes liberty is more precious than life. Why property? If state want to snatch, the requirement is that they should prove beyond any reasonable doubt. Very strict standards of evidence are required. And with this we complete this proceedings and appreciate your students who have arranged this. You see, fashion of fundamental right that emerged after Second World War. And these are also one, I remember the word of Justice Cornelius. He said these fundamental rights in international conventions, these are flowery words. There is no force from inner side to act upon them. And the words which are given by Holy Prophet, those are binding upon us, and this is the force from our inner side, that we are bound to follow those rights. These are the same, almost same rights, but rather the rights which has been granted in Khutbah Hajjatul Wada, those are more comprehensive and the better rights for humanity, because this is given by the lawgiver as per Sharia. The Creator, He knows how we can live, what right we can possess, and those rights have been expressed through the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So the rights who are given by the Creator, those are the actual better rights. But these rights have been incorporated to some extent, but you see, sometimes they are in excess, sometimes they are less. So in international human rights documents, we call which International Bill of Rights, there are 4 conventions. One, you see, UDHR, this ICCPR, there are 4 documents which we call International Bill of International Human Rights. So these are also morally as well as applicable, and we have, you see, some of them we have ratified as well. We are bound to implement those as well. And another thing, last thing which I want to add, that in the words the people know their fundamental rights. I always want that these first